Well, I want to welcome everybody for coming out this cold afternoon. One thing, the mural is, I've always been proud of it because years ago, 25 years ago, I guess it's been, the locals painted it, and my family got the opportunity to help paint it, so we've always been a little bit proud of it. And when it started to deteriorate, you know, I thought, well, someday it's just going to be taken down. But the commercial club and Lynn did an excellent job of putting things together, and so welcome everybody and enjoy the goodies here. So. Dan?
I'm the commercial club president, so I also would welcome you. If you're wondering how the commercial club got involved, there was some funds left from when the mural was originally painted in '89, which was in conjunction with South Dakota's centennial celebration. And those funds that were left got given to the commercial club to do something as far as the mural, if we could. And Lynn kind of spearheaded that project a couple years ago and decided that in conjunction with South Dakota's Quasi would be a good time to get the mural done. Actually, we had hopes of last year, but we didn't quite get that far.
We're working on it.
And so those funds, that was a couple $1,000s, plus some money from the commercial club has been the funds that have been appropriated to redo the mural, but it wouldn't have been done without many, many volunteers. To look at it, it's a beautiful painting, and you might think, what a beautiful painting, but when it was first done, George Prisby was the artist, and he sketched it and drew it, and he blew it up on the wall, and it was basically a paint by number onto the plywood, and he was the original artist. Well, this time, all the plywood had to come down, and then each piece of plywood, many volunteers took paper and traced over what outline they could, many missing blanks that they had to freehand. Then after that was all traced, we had purchased new plywood that all had to be, and correct me if I'm wrong on any of these steps, Lynn, but that plywood was all primed, and then those patterns had to be traced back onto the wood, and then it had to be painted and then put back on the side of the building over there. So you can see and tell there are many, many, many hours of hard work in that mural. I did not grow up in Ipswich. I grew up in Roscoe, moved 15 miles away, didn't migrate too far, but I know about living in a small town, and I've actually been a part of the Ipswich community for more years of my life than I was part of the Roscoe community. And one thing I find about our small communities is how proud we are of our history. And the mural is just a perfect example of the pride of our town in our history. And when you look around, we have so many more things. We have a beautiful public library, we have the Parmley House, we have Centennial Village, the land office, and I'm sure there are things I'm missing, the arches in Charlie's Park. All of those things, we have events. Trail Days was an event of the past where everyone came to town to celebrate. About 10 years ago, maybe longer, Trail Days was started again by a group of people in town who wanted to preserve that history, and so we're fortunate enough to have things like that. Centennial Village, just last week, hosted the annual Powell Church service that they do every year. So there's lots of history here in Ipswich, and we are proud to be a part of that and to remember our ancestors that came before us. That doesn't happen without many, many volunteers, and those volunteers are obviously people who take pride in the community. It also takes funds, and so there's always fundraisers and stuff. We always hope people will support those things. The city is very good about supporting those events. Of course, they own the library, but they give to the Centennial Village. They help support Trail Days. They help support the land office. So, you know, without the city involvement, the city gives commercial club money, which we in turn could use to help fund the mural. So, you know, we're very fortunate that we live in a small community where history is something that we are all very proud of. And it works out great that we can have this mural ready for South Dakota's 125th celebration of our statehood. And so I'm glad you came. I wish there could have been more people here, but thank you to Valley for televising this, and maybe it can be on the local channel and with a picture of the mural so that others can enjoy it also. And it will be here, hopefully. They said the first one would last 25 years, and It's 25 years, maybe should have been done a little sooner, but hopefully this will last a little bit longer. We do have, there were many, many artists who've helped paint the first mural, and there was a listing of those artists on there. My son was 5 when that was done, or about 5, and he actually got to paint on the mural, and he was pretty proud of that. Well, his name is no longer there, it's kind of faded and covered, but to remember all of those names and to try and include all these, we didn't want to miss anyone, so a plaque has been done to recognize, you know, all of the people who volunteered, and Lynn has that plaque, and it will be mounted over there, but Lynn, if you would like to read that.
It just says, in 1989, this mural was designed and drawn by George Prisby and the people of the community of Ipswich. In 2014, this mural was redrawn and repainted by the people of the community of Ipswich.
So thank you to all of the volunteers who helped make this a very special event, a very special part of our history. And with that, thank you for coming.
Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.